What's up? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So the point man for the last couple of months has been sending me on images and screenshots, I should say, of statuses that this fella has been putting out. Now, I didn't know who this fella was until the point man let me know that this fella is a comedian, and I should say allegedly a comedian, because funny he is not. I've had a look at some of the videos as a result of doing a little bit of research, and I said, oh my god, this fella's absolutely horrific. Now, it comes as no surprise that this fella was on the side of the Voldemorts, things, medical experiments that were given out there for the last year. Of course, don't be worrying about the case of the suddenlies that's happening to young people now. Don't be worrying about the heart attacks that's happening amongst young people, the blood clots or anything like that. Don't be worried about that. This fella was all up in arms about the sniffles, so protect me. That's interesting stuff, isn't it, coming from this fella? Really is. So, this fella likes to post online as if he's Conor McGregor, but in fact, he actually comes across more like Walter White Jr. from Breaking Bad, if I'm being quite honest with you. This is a fella that rose to prominence, from what I can see, when he was doing videos that, himself would call misogynistic videos towards the previous girlfriend. Then when he got a bit of success, he got a new set of Delph and a new girlfriend, and she's going on tours with him now. And at the same time, he's going on to different media outlets, including the state broadcaster, telling you that he feels sad. Does that sound familiar? Sounds kind of like Rory Stories, sounds kind of like PJ Gallagher. And I find it ironic that this fella uses the word weakness in this status here, because, again, all you got to do is look. So, this is a fella, and you should look into him a little bit more. If you don't know the name John Laffey, have a look into that one. This is a fella, by the way, that will reference John now and again and say how people are trying to bring him down by naming that man. But it doesn't seem to me like Stevo, from what I could read into it, it doesn't seem like he spent a day in jail for what he did. I think that's very interesting. Now let's have a look at this status here. Tay fanboys are scarily fanatical. What a strange thing to say, considering the left are the ones that are fanatics. People that like Andrew Tate are very much so interested, if you haven't heard of this guy before, they're interested in the masculine energy that he is giving off. They're interested in the positive energy that he's giving off. He's a guy that doesn't believe in depression. Let's just be honest about that. He's not a fella that's sitting around feeling sad. He's not promoting feeling sad. But this fella is. You know what I mean? And this is what these type of guys don't like. They don't like that type of fella. Look at movies over the last number of years. You only have to look at some of the guys that have been doing it for the last number of years, like Tom Cruise, and then you look at what they're trying to push forward now. These little skinny millink individuals that are all about the feelings. So, it's akin to a religious cult. Of course, this fella will take jabs at the likes of the Catholic faith, won't take jabs at any other faith. Weird that, I find. Now, I like people like Kurt Cobain. There's a joke in there somewhere, I'm just not going to say it though. Richard Feynman, Dawkins, etc. I'd say 3/4 of the people that he's listed down below, by the way, he's probably Googled to sound smart, if I'm being honest. I'd say he doesn't even actually know who these people are. He just typed in probably smart people. Then he says, but not in my life would I be out attacking people to defend them. No idea what he's talking about there. Is he talking about the gaggle of people that are going through Romania that are saying free top G? Is that what he's talking about? Anyway, they are big enough to look after themselves. To suggest that Tate needs defending in the first place suggests weakness. What is this fella talking about? This fella, honest to God, this fella is for the boards, lads. Which means he may not be that powerful. That's like watching Lord of the Rings, and when Aragorn runs in towards Mordor and then everyone else follows him in, that's like saying, Aragorn's not really that powerful, is he? If you needed an army with him to fight all the orcs, is it? Absolutely baffling stuff. Reminds me of religious zealots. Maybe the Matrix is too strong for him to escape from, or more rationally, you have been played like a violin in a pyramid scheme of epic proportions by a lad with an ingenuity to play social media for monetary purposes. He's been quite clear in stating what he's been doing, but at the same time, he's given a good message. That's undeniable. It's undeniable that an awful lot of men in particular are looking at it and saying to themselves, I like that type of talk. Because for the last number of years, they've been listening to likes of you, PJ Gallagher, and Rory Stories and all these other fellas that are going and telling people, I feel sad, I feel upset. That's what it is to be a man. You get on with it though. And there's no good in you feeling sad. Unbelievable stuff. Be wide, be smart, follow the greats of history. This now again, as I said, I say this fella Google this and then just threw the names together, if I'm being honest. Follow Hawkins, Nietzsche, Aristotle. No Aristotle are you, mate? Darwin, Sartre, Faraday, Maxwell, Dirac, and countless others that young lads should be emulating. Like I said, very interesting. Then you see this sort of stuff here. There's a sizable group around the country shouting outside hotels at immigrants. This is insane. Go and shout outside the government buildings. Yeah, because that's worked before, hasn't it? Seems not to have worked. Why blame the immigrants themselves instead of the powers that be? Everyone's blaming the powers that be, and they're also saying, no, hang on here, tell you what, let's make it a bit difficult. Let's say, no, you're not welcome, because that's the feeling that people have now around the country when they're seeing the media angling every winter now to say, stay away from the hospital, lads, it's overcrowded. I'm not surprised, because you keep wedging people into the country. Oh, guys just can't afford a house now, you're going to be permanent renters. I'm not surprised, because you keep wedging people into the country and those people keep coming. You know, at a point in time, people are going to go, okay, well, the governments don't want to stop and ask you questions and answer questions, certainly. You are now having to go to the root of the problem, which is people that have decided to come here and have come here illegally. So that's why people are going there. By letting the government out the hook and shouting at and blaming immigrants, you are basically playing into the government's playbook and working for them. Slow applause for divide and conquer. What's the solution though, Stevo? Because all you'll do is you'll say, oh, people are doing that anywhere. It's the phobes. Same play every time. Here we go. Here's another one that he was wrong on as well. Enoch Burke believes his rights to treat everyone who doesn't agree with him like second-class citizens. No, he's treating someone that's not basing their own, very much so, self in reality. Science for centuries, and I'd say even longer than that, before we had what is called modern science, when you have eyes and ears that God has given us along, or a brain, some of us less than others, to discern between what is a man and what is a woman. And only in the last 10 years they're like, well, I don't know what I am. It's absolutely outrageous. And not only that, but if you went to the doctor and said to the doctor, it's a very famous meme now at this stage of the game, and said, listen, see that right arm that I have there, yeah, I've no real use for it anymore, would you mind removing that? You'd be committed, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, these people on the other side that want to be like, you're 8 and you think you're a girl? Okay. You know what I mean? It's mad stuff. And this is based on fairy tales from a Bronze Age cult. Again, we'll take a jab at the Catholic faith. Don't take a jab at any other one though. Gary Dempsey there, in fairness to him. For a good response. Another one here. If Kanye was broke, he'd already be committed. Make of that what you will in terms of that one. This is a guy that has very much so exposed what's going on in the entertainment industry, has told people how influential and how people of influence like the Kardashians were used by, shall we say, just very sinister individuals. And this fella's like, if he was broke, he'd be actually in an institution. What a dummy. But do you notice something? Every single time, he's on the wrong side. What is this weird cult-like obsession with Elon Musk? He's a multi-billionaire who claims vast amounts of taxpayer money to fund publicity stunts. Because people look at him and they think he's a bit of a laugh. That's what the obsession is with him. He seems like a bit of a laugh. And not only that though, the last couple of weeks have been super interesting under him, because he's one of the very few people that's coming out and been like, you know those things that you people thought for the last couple of years? Well, it turns out that they're all true. That's why people are obsessed with him. But what this fella wants you to do is like, no, don't look at where Elon's down. Look at something else. Every single time. So like I said, you're seeing wrong opinion after wrong opinion after wrong opinion. And look, this fella might absolutely believe in what he believes in, and that's his right, and I do think he's entitled to do that, and I think it's funny to just look at it. But every time something doesn't go his way, he's straight in being like, well, you know, it's bots and yours are Islamophobes and how dare you, and you don't represent the country, and I'm going to go on to RTE and I'm going to feel sad. It's unreal. But this is why Ireland in particular is done with wet wipes. They're done with wet wipes because they well, I mean, look, wet wipes are useful. I mean, this fella's about as useful as a chocolate teapot, to be quite honest with you. But people are done with this sort of way of going on, this namby-pamby nonsense, because I can guarantee you this, in another few months' time, he'll be back on the likes of RTE telling you how sad he feels and everything like that, and how hard it is for him to not pick up a drink. I know plenty of people that go to AA meetings, and I know them, and have known them all my life, and these people will tell you how difficult it is, but they're not getting a special on the likes of RTE to go on and crib about it. They get on with their lives, and these fellas are strong men, tough men, real men, people that I look up to. And you've got this fella here then coming out and telling you that you shouldn't be looking up to a fella that's promoting the nuclear family, first and foremost, is promoting protection of women, is promoting then masculinity, and also then he's talking about how you can earn money and set yourself free from what is currently a system like our own that's taking massive amounts of tax and money off of people to then frivolously spend on pure and utter nonsense. Just to go back on the immigrant comment that this fella made, 3 billion, I'm going to say that again, 3 billion is being spent by our country to bring people into this country. And at the same time, they're telling the likes of the Gardaí, don't have the money for you lads. Nurses, don't have the money for you there lads. Everyone else, don't have the money for you. Tighten your belt, recession soon. Make sure you turn off the gas stove. You probably won't have gas stoves in the future. It'll all be electric, so we can just all flicker off. And make sure you take 2-minute showers to take it to your man in Russia. That's the type of nonsense that's going on in this country right now. People have had enough. And this fella, to me, sums it up. Blue check mark, spouting nonsense. Absolutely hilarious. Anyway, the Matrix is very real, and I think I'd put a lot more water into what Andrew Tate has been saying over the last number of months, rather than this guy who was shown to have a very sketchy past and a very sketchy history that's out there now telling people that he's some sort of moral authority. Weird. Anyway, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below. Support the channel. I'll talk to you later. Good luck.